All right, listen, we're talking about Paleface today. And that makes me feel aggressive because Paleface is very aggressive. So this is an aggressive side of Mark that you've never seen. So you better hit that like button or I'll shake my finger at you. Just kidding. All right, anyways. What's up, everybody? My name is Mark. Welcome to another Cardivox Academy vocal analysis video. If you're new to the channel, I am a full-time vocal coach. I pretty much specialize in harsh vocals, teach people how to make all sorts of cool sounds safely and efficiently. I am also a metal vocalist myself of about 14-ish years. Predominantly, that's been in a band called Kardashev or on Metal Blade Records. Feel free to check it out. It don't sound like Paleface at all, but you still might dig it. And I'm excited because Paleface is a lot of fun. Paleface is a lot of fun. They're a band that, like, as angry as the music sounds, as angry, it's pissed, it's aggressive, but when you're done listening, you always feel better. Like, it's weird. Paleface makes me so mad, and yet when the music is over, I feel so happy. It's a strange thing. It's catharsis, I suppose you could say. I also like any chance I get to check out like the more hardcore, the more beat down side of vocals, because I think it's a lot of fun. It's very raw, right? And oftentimes with harsh vocals, there's like a lot of like a very fine-tuned, surgical, pristine technique, and hardcore beatdown vocals. There is a ton of technique there as well. But at the same time, it kind of sounds like, Hulk smash, and I like that. So beyond that, if you enjoy the content, like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to see the channel grow. And let's talk about Paleface, the Gallow, singular. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here because there's already so much to talk about. So first and foremost, holy cow, what the heck is this song doing? And I mean that in a very good way. It was like thrash metal. And then we had that weird like cymbal play with those harmonics. If those weren't harmonics, listen, I don't play guitar, leave me alone. There's so much crazy stuff going on here. But the reason I'm pausing it kind of early, well, we're already over a minute and I guess it's not that early. The reason I'm pausing this is because there are actually some really good vocal exercises that he is just doing as part of the song that I really like. Well, really mainly one, right? So when we're talking about this very aggressive, very voiced type of vocal distortion, similar to what we would hear in Kublai Khan or a lot of Slipknot, right? Knocked Loose, although he's way higher, right? A lot of time in these more chest spaces, we're talking about a false chord vocal with true chord placed in it, right? Now, here's the thing. To create false chord distortion, I generally advise learning how to do it pitchless first, because I think it's very important to learn how to create false chord distortion without the reliance on your vocal cords. The reason is, then you can create distortion without your vocal cords anywhere near it, not even involved. And then when you want to add your vocal cords in, you have a degree of separation that's going to keep your voice safe, right? Vocals like this are safe to do. They do come with a high inherent risk though. So when I say that they are safe, I don't want you to think like, oh, there's absolutely nothing wrong that could happen. There is, right? If you don't play the game right, if you're not taking care of your vocal health, if you're not warming up, if you're not taking things seriously, you could really hurt your voice with this type of vocal style, but you can also have a long career and not have any issues. So let's go ahead and talk about a couple things. I'm going to, in this video, talk about the vocal styles here, assuming that with the assumption that the viewer or the student or whoever already knows how to make the basic false chord grunt, the old school, or It's not really that old school now, but like the basic, like, you know, the Nathan explosion. Right? That basic false chord sound that does not have any true chord phonation in it at all. Right? Now, if you need help learning how to do that, I do give one-on-one lessons, and we do have an e-course on cardivoxacademy.com, false chord fundamentals, that teaches you all about it. A lot of people have been using it, saying it's very helpful, so hell yeah. Check it out if you're interested. But from here, there's a step that you need to do to be able to use your voice in this scream. Oftentimes, when people who don't have a lot of experience vocalizing for either singing, public speaking, or voice acting, oftentimes when they try to lean into their voice and project and add weight, what they're going to do is they're going to squeeze their vocal cords really, really, really hard together. And if you put distortion on that, you are cruising for a bruising, right? I know I'm talking a lot at the beginning of the video, but I really care more about your safety than I care about people clicking the back button. So if you're still here, you're a real one, right? So how do we do this, right? How do we do this? Okay. Well, there are a couple things we can do. I actually talked about this in another video that I recorded today. So I'll do it again to keep it consistent, right? What we can do is we can make a very forward sound, like Fonzie. Hey, hey, hey. Now notice I'm not saying A. I'm saying hey. I'm leaning on it, a little bit of slow gas pedal, right? It's almost like a mini crescendo, okay? Now, glottal onsets, which is an onset that sounds like this, uh-oh, apple, they're not inherently bad. However, if you can't control it very well and you're putting a lot of pressure underneath your vocal cords, what we have is we have what's called a glottal attack, and that can be very, very hard on your voice. So I'm leaning on it. Hey, 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 and then I'm going to ramp that up. Hey, 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 hey. Notice how I'm smiling. As I do this, I'm feeling my voice. I'm utilizing my abdominal muscles, and I'm feeling my voice in my cheekbones, behind my nose. I have a big amount of buzz here. Hey, 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 hey. My vocal cords, they're not squeezed at all. Hey, hey. Very loose, very relaxed. This is key. If you can't do this relaxed, don't even put them together. Don't waste your time, right? Now let's say you're there, right? You've got your hey, hey, hey. And this is the exercise that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. You kind of get into character. You start grunting it out. I'm utilizing the fundamental of holding my ribs out and squeezing my abdominal muscles, and I don't feel this grit down here around my voice box. I do feel the grit and the gargliness right at the back of my tongue and a little bit higher, right? Hey. As I lean in, I'm going to switch to hey, a very forward masky vowel. Hey, 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 break the shiny. And you can do that and not have really any discomfort on your vocal cords, right? You may get like a lot of spit building up, foamy in the back of the mouth, but from here, you know, I spat on my shirt a little bit actually. You should feel quite comfortable, and you should have the ability after doing these vocals to get up into an airy head voice. Let's keep going though. But I wanted to front load that because it's really important. It's really important. I'm not against this vocal style at all. I think Zelli sounds amazing, and I think it's awesome to do. But you got to be kind of careful with it, right? So you got to drive around in the parking lot before you get on the freeway. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here we go. Fucking disaster. Was just want to say goodbye. Let me touch on the paper. Why am so fucking wretched today? Oh. Screw it. I'm pausing. I'm talking about it because that was sick. So that was really cool. That was really cool. I'll go back and we'll listen to an uninterrupted part soon. But like, he's doing some really cool stuff in this song. Okay, so I love how he had that vocal. I don't know the lyrics, so I'm just going to make some stuff up. But he had this hardcore vocal that he switched then into a more traditional false chord high, and it was seamless. It sounded so cool, right? So he had like this, vocal. I'm just going to say like ba-da-da-da-ba, right? So he's right here, ba-da-da-da-ba, sing the yeah. And it was such a smooth transition. This very cool. That's a strong amount of control, right? That is a strong familiarity with the vocal tract, and you don't generally get there just from like screwing around without at least a decent understanding of what you're doing, even if you're understanding you don't know any terms, no academic terms, but you've taken the time to think about your body, right? And that's what I mean when I talk about these types of vocals, right? Even if you have no idea like what, you know, your modal voice is, you don't know what a passaggio is, you don't know what a tessitura is, you don't have to. But what you do have to have is a very strong mental connection with your body, with your voice. You need to have a feeling of where your voice is and what feels healthy and what doesn't feel healthy, right? And to be able to make that move, so sick. All right, I promise I'm not going to pause, but it's not my fault that Zelli's a good vocalist, and I want to talk about it. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to pause it there because I have some cool stuff to talk about. So first and foremost, I love that like kind of voicey guttural he threw in. So sick. It actually kind of reminded me of the what's that guy's name? He's the vocalist. I think Brojob has two vocalists. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's in Brojob, and he did a feature for Left to Suffer, the song Loathe, and he does this guttural, this like right. He does this sound. And Zelli did a very similar thing here, but he left his voice kind of engaged underneath. Sounded very, very cool. And it's going to sound silly. This is the second time I've used the analogy of like licking vocals today. I don't know. Maybe this is the trend. But to get like this, there it is. Right? What I'm doing is I'm literally curling my tongue back, keeping the base of my tongue relaxed, but curling my tongue back. And I'm running it along the roof of the mouth and sort of flicking it against the back of my tongue. That's what gives it that when I pair this with a little bit of distortion. It sounds very cool. And I love that he had a little bit of vocal cord engagement under there. Awesome. Also super cool to hear the clean singing. I know that he's probably, I'm like totally spacing, but I know that we've heard his clean voice before. But part of the reason I'm excited is because maybe like a year ago, we actually had him in the classroom a couple times, and he and I were working on his clean singing voice. He already sounded amazing, but we were working with placement and air control and relaxation in the throat. So it's really cool. Zelli, your voice sounds very open, very well controlled. I'm hearing the voice lifting up into the front of the face while still keeping the dark tone because the top of your throat is open. Love to hear it. Let's keep going. Let's talk there a little bit. So I get a lot of students who cite Zelli as being one of their biggest influences, right? And it's totally clear to see why. And one thing I notice with many of them is that they've been working on their false chord vocals. And, this is prior to them coming to me or even with me, right? They've been working on their false chord vocals and they still don't have that sound and they can't name it. They're like, there's something I'm missing and I don't know what it is. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. It is emotional delivery. It is voice acting. It is theater. It is performance, right? And so I'm going to give you an example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little microphone in my hand, right? Even though I've got a microphone here, because one thing I straight up will do if my voice is sounding a little bit bland is I will, whether or not maybe I don't have a microphone, maybe I have a hairbrush, I will literally put this in my hand. I don't care. Listen, I've got a big nasty beard. I've got a dad haircut. I drove a Prius for a long time. I don't give a fuck how I look, right? If I look kind of dumb here, so fucking mote it be. I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs on a YouTube video. I got to stop that. Don't edit them out, Ludo. Leave them in. This isn't a family show. Anyway, and what I'll do is I'll get pissed, right? And it sounds dumb. Come along with me on this journey. Now, I don't know the lyrics, so I'm just going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So here's where a lot of people will get. They can do the false chord distortion. Yeah. They can project their voice without straining. Hey! But they put them together and they sound like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. On paper, that's correct on a technical perspective, but it's also boring as heck. Right? What you need to do is you need to put some stank on it, right? So what we'll do is we'll move away from the distortion and we get into character. And it's usually about 15 minutes of me and the student both laughing and feeling really stupid, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I'm going to say it mad. I'm going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now I sound dumb, but what if I deliver? What if I deliver the vocals that way? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Motherfucker! Take that shit to the grave, bitch! Sounds a lot cooler, right? And because I have my voice placed properly, I do get a lot of foamy spit in the back of my mouth. This is something I get a lot of questions on. If you're getting foamy spit in the back of your mouth, no problem. If you're getting phlegm pushing up from the vocal cords, flicking up, that means you're probably putting a lot of effort on the vocal cords themselves and you need to dial it back, just in case you're wondering. But this can be very, very comfortable to do if you're good at placing your distortion in the mask, okay? If you have an understanding of what breath support actually means, more so than just like breathe into your diaphragm, right? Now listen, if that's your level of knowledge, it's a great place to start. But you need to understand what it's like to feel the support low down by the belly button, right? One way you can feel this is if you put your finger up to your mouth like you're shushing somebody, right? Shh. Turn your finger this way, okay? Now blow hard past that finger. Take a healthy breath in, down low. Notice my shoulders aren't going to lift. Now blow hard. Let me drop the. I'll just show you. Here we go. You might see all the unpacked boxes I have around here. Oh no, you just see some baby toys. Hell yeah! Anyway, it's a music toy. I'm trying to get my son into music, but he didn't care. So anyways, you can kind of see this here, right? So this right here, this is my belly button, okay? Now, as I do this, I want you to notice what happens around this space, right? Where an airplane seatbelt would go. Check it out. I'm gonna breathe in. Notice the expansion here. Well, it's hard to see because I'm kind of a bigger guy, so here. There we go. Still soft and doughy. See that movement? Now watch this. Or very, very important, right? Pulling the effort from down here so that we can relax our throat. Incredibly important. Let me lift this back up. Waiting for the desk to lift. So, you guys eat food around here? Sorry. Anyway, small talk, am I right? Let's keep going. But yeah, so far, great song. Loving it. We just went straight rock music. okay, some nasty's about to happen. So if I have to pause it, I'm going to do it here. Let's talk a little bit about that clean singing, okay? So what we have here, also, by the way, as a side, I love that Paleface does not hold back. I'm not talking musically, I'm talking visually, right? We've got flames, we've got gallows, we've got crosses, we've got Zelli walking in, very messianic through these crosses, festooned in festive fineries, eccentric accoutrements, right? And he has like this Mad Max vibe, and everybody's just like headbanging, and we're like arena rock music, and then metal, and then thrash, and then what the hell's going on? Song is a trip, right? But let's think about this this type of singing, right? One thing that you can do to start your clean singing journey is think about your chest voice, at least, as being an extension of your speaking voice. Now, this is not necessarily going to work for everything you do, but it's a great way to build a basic chest sound, right? So going back to this, like, hey, I'm walking in, hey, you know, as many students as I've had in New York, I've had a lot of students in New York. None of them have talked like that. It's been slightly disappointing. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what that says about me, but anyway. So, hey, I'm walking here. Hey. You can use that as your singing voice, and all you have to do is really kind of slow down and be on pitch, right? So, hey, all in the gallows. Oh, right. You can think about your singing voice as like calling out to somebody. This is a great place to start if you want to put some weight into your voice. You want to approach the idea of belting, but you're not really sure how to go about it. Keep that throat relaxed. Keep that throat relaxed. Hey. Pick a melody that you know very well. For me, I often warm up with the Halo theme. I don't know why I didn't play a lot of Halo growing up, but hey. Ooh, see? You know what? Your voice cracks sometimes. That's okay. No shame in my game. Let's try again. Hey. Right? You can think of it as an extension of your speaking voice. When you do that, you don't need to feel a lot of pressure under your vocal cords. If you do, time out. And you don't need to press your vocal cords really hard together. So things to think about. Here we go. Let me suffocate to death. Let me suffocate to death. Let me suffocate to death. We're getting a punch your buddy riff. I know it. I know it. I will find peace in this motherfucker! Gallow! I'm hanging in the 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 gallow! I like how it... No, Paramount, you get out of here. Get out of here. You're not welcome. I love how it ends with like a sort of interesting allusion to like a snuff film. Kind of weird. No, I've never seen a snuff film, okay? There was a video game about it called Manhunt, I think on the PS2 back in the day. I don't remember. Anyway. So, yeah, really cool stuff here from Zelli. I love how much fusion was in that song. Also, just for my own sense of curiosity, if we've got any guitarists in the audience, what tuning were they in? Because they sounded like super, super, super heavy, but not quite as low as you hear in like a lot of other heavy sections. So I'm wondering if they were using like this. I really don't know. I don't play guitar, so I'm actually just asking. Like, were they in standard? Were they in drop D or something? I don't know. I don't even really know what that means. But anyways, so again, this type of vocal style, you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely stay safe with it, but you have to understand that it is taxing. Okay, you can't just run on stage. And if you see people doing this, they should not be. I don't care how famous they are. Okay, you should not go on stage after having yelled over a crowd, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour waiting for your set, right? Scream like this and then come off stage and then scream over the crowd some more. Even if you feel fine today, you are setting yourself up for a difficult vocal journey in 5 years. Okay. You really need to take it seriously. You also might have to think about your diet, right? I don't do a lot of these vocals myself. I do them sometimes in Kardashev, although I have more of a sad boy delivery, but because I have horrifically bad acid reflux. And if I don't like before a recording session or before, well, we haven't played live in a long time, but like when we were tracking our most recent album, before we tracked, if I was doing a song that I knew had this type of like very voicey, very aggressive vocal style, I lived like a hermit, right? I drank nothing but water, no caffeine, no alcohol, no spicy food. I didn't eat after 8. Because if you've got really bad acid reflux, like you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time with this vocal style. So you really have to take your vocal health seriously. And also, this is not the end all be all of whether or not you're doing this right. There are a lot of things to think about, but when you do this vocal style, you should be able to, ooh, ooh, hear how I'm crossing that vocal bridge smoothly and I'm getting into that airy head voice. If you don't have a very strong head voice, that's okay. You can still do this, but you should be able to hit that fairly easily. If you feel like, let me simulate for you what you don't want it to sound like. If you feel like you try to sing like a head voice note and it's like, right? If you have that versus it coming out smoothly, then it means your vocal cords are a little swollen and you're putting too much pressure on them, right? So something to think about. But in any case, this is a very cool song from Paleface. I like it very much. Zelli, you're a wizard. Good job. And that's all I have. Like, share, subscribe if you like the content. If you want to start your false chord journey, check out cardivoxacademy.com for the false chord fundamental e-course. And that's all I know. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.